So I notice a sense of anxiety. And sense of stress within my body at this moment. There is some expectation. From some part of myself, within my psyche, within my conditioning, I guess. There's an expectation to perform at this point. There is an expectation to do well. To express well. To speak properly. The more I express and the more I sit with it, the more this sensation releases, the more it calms down. And this is relevant, that's why I kept it within the video, because today I want to discuss about expectations, about the standard by which we live our lives, essentially. I was wondering, who's the one that sets the standards for your own life, for my life? When we're young kids, we have no expectations, no standards other than following our natural instincts. When we're hungry, when we're feeling we need to sleep, tired, when we want a hug, we just react out of those impulses. And as we grow older, we start to express openly, no expectation, no specific scripts within our psyche, no narratives, it's just pure expression. Until we realize that someone else is expecting of us something, is expecting a certain way of being, is expecting a certain way of expressing. And then we start to adapt to that, because of course it's connection we're interested in, right? So there's no question about whether we keep the connection or not for the sake of ourselves, for the sake of our own authenticity. It's just a straightforward decision. It's an unconscious decision. We just go for it. So we start obeying and adapting to external standards, how our parents or our society, our social circle expects of us to behave in certain situations. And unconsciously we adopt those kind of criteria, right? These rules by which we live. And we keep trying to perform in accordance with those criteria later on in our lives as well. Sometimes, most of the times actually, we're not even aware of this. It's our normal. Those criteria define what's normal for us, what's reality for us. So there's no questioning. It's just, that's normal. That's what I know. That's what I do. That's how I am, we say. But it's interesting to bring some self-awareness to those criteria at some point in our lives and pose the question, whose criteria are those? Whose criteria are we trying to serve? Are we trying to satisfy? It plays out a lot within relationships. And of course it plays out a lot within our decision making. So it's really important that we bring some self-awareness and decide who sets the criteria. This who should be us, ideally. And it's not a matter of whether, it's not like rebelling, right? It's not about, saying that all the criteria that you live your life by, or the way you behave, or the way you try to be in this world are wrong. It's just a matter of actually bringing them into the conscious mind and just try to decide consciously now which of them can provide the life that we really want to live, a life that is more aligned with us and that provides inner peace for us and a sense of fulfillment, and which of those criteria perhaps it's better for someone else. If you do not decide which criteria you want to live your life by, it's very easy that you suffer and you try to achieve things that you never actually wanted to achieve, or you condemn yourself for not being like someone else or not achieving what you would like to have achieved by now, for example. Perhaps you say to yourself, I shouldn't be like that, or I should have done that by now. But this is not actually true. It's just you've set a standard, or someone else has set a standard for you by which you hold an expectation. Either that being expectation about time. Usually we don't have the patience to say, things will happen in a timely manner. Either is an expectation of the result. In both cases, you try to control something you cannot control, ending up in suffering. But coming back to the standards and just bringing some awareness and what the resulting expectations are, then you can just, with some kind of compassion and curiosity, redefine what you actually want, or what you actually expect, or what you actually want to live by. What rules, what metrics, what works for you, not for someone else, what works for you now. And it's okay if you decide to change those standards or those rules along the line, down the line, like, it's fine. You're allowed to do that. It's not a fixed thing that you're trying to make. Like, it's not like if I say my standard at this moment is inner peace and relaxation, that doesn't mean that maybe in 1 year from now or a few months from now, may I say, okay, I've had enough of that, I need a bit more action, I need a bit more adventure. That's a new standard I'm setting there. That's a new expectation. And that will define my actions as well, my behavior as well. But it's important that I set the standard and I'm conscious of that standard. I set that for me. Not to satisfy you, not to satisfy someone else, but to live a fulfilling life. So let's try to become aware of those expectations that we set for ourselves or that others have set for us and we have adopted them. Because in either case you've chosen to do that, right? No one can just obligate you to do something you don't want to do. It's always a choice. And you always choose because that choice that you make usually has the most positive result for you in the given moment. If it doesn't feel like that. For example, if you choose to stay in a relationship that does not fulfill you, does not give you what you expected or what you need, but you're still choosing to do that, even though your standard is something else, you're still choosing to lower that. The reason you're doing that is because that serves you in that moment, because the alternative would be that you're alone and you're more scared of that. So know that whatever standards or expectations you may have, the choices we're making is always for our benefit. So it's your choice to set the standards exactly where you want them to be and align your actions and behavior to them. Have a great day.